Welcome to a new edition of After the Whistle, Wednesday, January 12th. Like, your aunt's birthday was yesterday, right?
Yep. Happy birthday, Auntie. HB, Heather Burton. Gina had an issue with the HB. She's like, I didn't know who she is. They didn't even know who she is. You know HB? I know what time
Happy
it is.
birthday, Miss Burton.
There we go. We got a actual Stevie's back with us.
What's up, people?
He was talking prep school earlier before we got on, and these two, they went to prep school. I didn't, so they got the stories. I only went to prep school just to see these games, and I'm like, how you folks survive in these farm towns with like civilizations so far away? I'm like, look, you got to be extra focused for that.
Yes, and very adventurous times.
And open-minded for sure.
Oh man! All right, there's a lot going on in the sports world. NFL season wrapped up over the weekend, and we got wild card weekend happening this week. We're going to talk about some of these matchups coming up, and the first matchup is the Pats and the Bills, round 3. Pats took the first game and 800-mile-per-hour wind. The Bills took the second one. Now it's the grudge match in Buffalo, and Pat's kind of been trending downwards after that.
I was gonna say, the way this playoffs is, most teams are rolling. Most teams are 4-1, no 5-0 teams. They're kind of backpedaling 2-3.
Yeah.
So honestly, this is gonna be a tough one because it's hard to play a team 3 times, and Jones play at Buffalo or versus Buffalo, he's only throwing the ball 7.7 yards a pass, and
yeah, I mean, with those numbers, he only threw the ball 3 times in the first game, so that's gonna make the numbers look bad anyway. But I agree with you on that. It's gonna be very tough for a rookie to come in his first playoff year and win a game in Buffalo.
The thing the Pats have going for them that they can take advantage is the Bills can't stop the run. They've shown that throughout the season that they can't stop the run. So if the Pats can be consistent and running the ball, start getting the play action, because those receivers got to make plays. If they can do that, they'll have a chance.
And that's the biggest thing we talked about all season was their balanced offense, because they can't rely on Jones. He's inexperienced, he's young, so they have to rely on them running backs. But is Harris going to play? Because I know they're questionable, and Myers is questionable. So 2 of your important skill guys are questionable. Hopefully they play, and we got to have some other guys step up.
Good point, because in the playoffs, that's what it's all about, really, health. I believe you've made a good point with that. If those guys don't play or if they come in not 100%, it's going to be a tough road for the Pats. We don't like to go against the Pats, but we're just being honest today.
Yeah, and the Bills seem like they've got things rolling the past couple of weeks. They've been really playing well. And the Pats lose to the Colts, then you lost to the Bills, and then you go in Miami and lose to them. I was telling him, I was like, it's in Miami. I just kept saying it's in Miami, because for some reason, anytime teams go to Miami,
we know what it is.
Yeah, there's
South Beach.
There's other things to focus on. Than the game plan, especially when you get there Friday or something.
And especially when you're already in the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
So it's we're gonna hang out. But the difference between, I want to say, the Bills and the Patriots is the Bills have a dynamic wide receiver.
Yeah.
We don't have one. So that's why we're gonna need an overall team effort, because
he's young too, though.
Who, Diggs?
Oh, you're talking about Diggs.
I'm talking about the Bills have a dynamic wide receiver. We don't have one.
Oh, yeah, he's a veteran.
They have dynamic players, so we're going to have a full team effort.
And they have a dynamic wide receiver that they're going to force the ball to.
But they don't have a running
play.
Their running game is suspect, though.
And our passing game's kind of suspect.
Yeah, but in the playoffs, what do you want to do?
Their quarterback.
Your thing. What's your thing?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yes.
Run the ball.
Run the ball, yeah.
Their quarterback is there.
Oh, he can run it. Yeah, that's true.
So that's also a thought. So. We'll see. We're rooting for the Pats, but it's going to be tough.
Definitely.
Yeah, they've got some issues going into this one. All right.
Before we move on, though, I think the one thing we do have for us is Bill Belichick, though.
I mean, yeah, that's a given. That's the force.
Yeah, he wore a danger
force, man.
He wore a danger zone hoodie for press conference today. So.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, he's ready.
He has some personality.
He's ready.
All right, they rubbing off on him.
Yeah.
The youth is rubbing off on him, man.
That happens to get better with time, like wine.
Yeah, so he might devise some crazy game plan it might end up in one of those crazy games that the Pats have no business winning, and they just find a way to win this game.
That's the type of game I think it's going to be.
He's probably in a better mental space after last year. there just going through that. He looked miserable. Now it's like
He's
winning
smiling
in the playoffs.
press conferences. He's talking to the press.
I said this before. Like last year, they won 7 games without a quarterback. Imagine if they had somewhat of a quarterback last year. They probably would have been in the playoffs last year. So
And winning solves everything.
it definitely does.
Winning makes you smile.
All right, the Steelers and the Chiefs. Also, this postseason in this first round, a lot of the teams they've already played each other in the regular season, so we're seeing a lot of rematches.
Except for one matchup.
So the Steelers and the Chiefs. This is so it's been like a farewell bid for Ben Roethlisberger. Everybody's been treating him like he's like this great guy, and all that stuff. And I'm just like,
I mean, he has a title or 2, right?
He has 2 titles.
Some major hiccups that's hard to kind of ignore.
Off the field stuff.
Well, I just mean as a person though, it's kind of hard to ignore those type of things.
Definitely.
And for the past 2 weeks, they've been like praising him, but nobody. I mean, one person had brought it up. I was listening to a podcast, but nobody has kind of talked about the elephant in the room with him.
Charges
what we
and stuff
talking
like
about.
that.
There's another dude too that's having like Trey Songz. But
And it's more or less the repeated accusations.
Right,
Not
right.
one. A lot of celebs have one situation that might happen. Somebody trying to get them for some bread or something.
Right.
Bad time, bad place, wrong place, bad timing. But multiple accusations, it's kind of like you step back and it's kind of
multiple is kind of crazy. But.
Yeah. And the league has a history of that with those type of players. If you know what I mean, I don't want to.
I mean, honestly, the world kind of puts the blanket over certain things compared to others.
Yeah, but they're going into this game against the Chiefs, and I have no idea how close this game is going to be because I don't know if you guys been watching the Steelers offense. They've just been, it's been hard to watch. Their defense has been keeping them in games, helped them win some games, but their offense is really hard to watch.
Definitely, all year. But their offense isn't the driving force for that team. It's the coaching staff. The history. Mike Tomlin is definitely one of the best coaches in the league.
And Ben's been there since Tomlin got there right after Ben got there.
Yeah,
because Ben won one with
he got there. He got Ben won. Yeah, he got there
Kyle,
legit
right?
after they won that Super Bowl. After they won that Super Bowl.
So and with this whole farewell thing they're doing with Ben, they're totally ignoring Najee Harris.
Yeah.
This guy, granted he's questionable, but you'd have a better season if you relied more on this young, youthful running back and then allow the elder statesman to pick his spots in the passing game, not rely on his arm throwing 40, 50 times some games.
He can't even throw the ball down the field. That's the big
Right. Did you see that interception? The first interception? It was a bad throw. Terrible. I mean, the defender jumped in the air. He was in the air for 3 seconds before the ball and he caught it.
It's been hard to watch. Ben Roethlisberger, he's been hard to watch as a quarterback, but their defense really is going to have to hold up in this one. The Chiefs, they've kind of, their offense, they've kind of stopped trying to hit the home run plays. They're more so.
They're back to the old Chiefs.
Yeah, they're going to
and that
take
means
their
trouble
time.
for anyone.
They're taking their time now, but their defense got to step up too because they almost blew it against the Broncos.
Yeah, but the Chiefs won big without Kelsey in their last meeting.
Yeah.
Ben averages 4.5 yards a pass against the Chiefs. Mahomes averages 8.6 yards a pass against the Steelers. This is going to be a long day for the Steelers,
What's
bro.
calling Big Ben?
What?
Is it 2 and out? Because all he does is those 2 out hitches, 2 out passes. That's it.
True.
Yeah,
that's
man.
what he's best at.
And for Najee Harris to be questionable is going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Snell looked horrible against this last game, even though they got in. He looked terrible.
Yeah.
And let's not talk about how they got in.
Yeah.
But they got in.
I know.
I think
because the Raiders wanted to be so competitive. Now, you know what? Just bucket and go for the tie.
It's not
so
even,
Pittsburgh don't get in.
That's not even a crazy part. The Raiders were going to go. They were going to take a kneel and go for the tie. But the Chargers coach want to call a timeout with 30 seconds left, and everybody's like,
I definitely saw it. I was like, he was like, all right, well.
Right? They were about to give it to you. And also, we can't also forget the Colts.
Yeah.
All you got to do is win and go in, and you going against a team where the fans are dressed up as clowns. the fans are dressed up as clowns for the game, and you go out there and play like clowns.
And I'll be honest,
True.
the Steelers don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
No, they don't.
That's why it's annoying that the Chargers aren't in it, because like the Chargers are a good team. They should be in the playoffs compared to the Steelers,
I don't agree.
bro. Of course you don't. Of course you don't, because you picked the Steelers.
Right.
Because they suck though. Let's be real.
They ain't the best team in the playoffs.
They're like the second worst team in the playoffs.
Their defense is tough, bro.
Their defense is tough,
man.
But nah, the Steelers don't. I agree with them. The Steelers, but. This is the Chargers, though. The past 5-6 years, all the games that they've lost that they should have won always comes back to bite them.
Yep.
And you're saying that I think because of the on paper the players that they have. The players just didn't step up for the Chargers because they should have beat the Raiders.
I understand that, but my whole thing is though, if you go for a tie, you both get in. The Steelers are out.
Yeah.
You beat the Chargers, one person gets in, the bums get in. That don't make no sense to
Who
me,
shoots
bro.
for a tie though?
I get that. I wouldn't, but at the end of the day, but
We all want, and the world wanted a tie. Everybody was rooting for a tie.
Not me.
Nobody wanted the Steelers in the playoffs.
I did.
People were sick of watching Ben struggle this whole season, bro.
Yeah.
People were sick of watching that. I feel
It's
bad
ugly.
for the
It's
man.
ugly. The offensive end is ugly, but they're in.
All right, this might be a shootout. The Bengals and the Raiders. I mean, we got to give a lot of credit to Derek Carr. I don't know.
Yes.
Derek Carr deserves some MVP votes.
Yes.
I know it's probably gonna be Brady or Rodgers who gets it, but Derek Carr, for what they've gone through this season, how he was able to keep the team together.
Lost their coach.
Lost players, and how he was just able to keep this team together. He deserves a lot of credit for just the way he's played. And people always, me and you talked about this, and people always trying to disrespect him like he's not a quality NFL quarterback.
He's playing well.
It's just the last name, bro. We already went over that. Just because he's related to his brother, man. Even though his brother was solid.
What he's doing now that I like, that I've seen this whole season, is he's not really taking sacks like he used to take sacks. If the receiver's not open down the field, he's throwing it right out. Throwing it out of bounds or getting rid of it, throwing it at someone's feet and going straight to the next play. He showed his maturity.
Yeah, there you go, the maturation of the game. That's all it is. And I'll be honest, him with these press conferences, I like listening to him because he's a man who has a brain. He's an actual leader.
Yeah.
He's not going to tear anybody down. It's all about just supporting each other. Even if you do something stupid, you got to support him. At the end of the day, that's what we are as people.
Yeah, I was with the Patriots signing him. Remember that? I was with that. I was with that.
He's like he's. If you were like a coaching youth football or something like that, if you were like, I just want you guys to watch this guy right now. Just watch how he conducts himself, or even just watch the full game and then watch how he conducts himself after the game, and then you read all the stuff that's happened, and you just like, yo, this dude had all the right in the world to just lose his mind, but he was able to keep things together, keep things afloat. So that's what you need.
And that's why I also like that his brother was a pro, because it seems like his brother kind of like helped him maneuver.
Took all the bullets.
Well, took all the bullets, and his brother seen that, and he showed him how to be a consistent professional.
Yeah.
And I just like Cobb being part of the Raiders, because
I like it.
You know what I mean? He's a good fit. It's a good fit.
And
Really
this
good
Bengals
fit.
team. Woo!
I mean, we was warning people about Burrow, man, a couple years ago.
Yeah. This Bengals team, man, I mean, 2,000 yards receiver. I think he might have 5,000 yards or over 4,000 yards
And then
passing.
running back,
1,000-yard running backs. Like, talent-wise, skill-wise, they probably... Offensively, they are dangerous, and they could make some noise. And
It's the
maybe
defense
they
that's
can
questionable.
end their 30-year drought of not winning a playoff game, because the last time they won a playoff game was 1991.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Text messages weren't even around.
I mean, it'll be good if they
I was
got
still
past
watching
the
the black and white.
What? When? What year was that? He said
91.
Oh, 91. Oh,
I still had a black and white in my room. I ain't even lying to you.
But what was I saying though? But nah, like the Bengals are solid, the Raiders are solid. It's gonna be a good game. I was trying to find how much Burrow passes, the yards per pass. I know Kai's averaging 8.0 yards per pass against them. But one thing I will say, I don't think they're gonna combine for 363 yards again.
T, is this a matchup that wasn't a rematch? Is this the game?
No, it is a rematch. But
rematch.
the first rematch, they combined for 363.
And the Bengals just dominated
You know what I mean?
that
It was just a bad game. It wasn't the best game for both quarterbacks, but overall team.
The Bengals dominated that game.
My boy Chase.
32-13.
Chase is.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people. Yeah, there were a lot of people critical of that draft, of them drafting him. They said they should have drafted a left tackle because quarterback coming off of ACL.
Did you not see what that man was doing?
He broke.
And he was the best receiver out of that group that won the national title, and he sat out. He sat out a whole year because COVID. He sat out, and to do this after not playing football for a whole year, he was working out, but just. Most people, when you don't play a sport for a while, you come back
serious.
Yeah, you might get injured, or it just might take you some time. But him, it was just
right, to beat a single season record as a rookie.
Yeah,
and not only that, it's the guy that he beat out, Chad Ochocinco.
His teammate from LSU, Justin Jefferson, had the record last year. He had the record last year.
I'm talking about the Bengal record.
Yeah, but he had Justin Jefferson had the rookie record last year, and then now he broke the record.
So it's just showing how better these wide receivers and quarterbacks are becoming. Because for that record to hold for so long, and then past couple seasons, people just breaking it, it's going to continue to be broke. But one thing I will say, I think the Raiders going to have a tough time, because I'm all about the depth chart this weekend. Jacobs and Waller both questionable. And those are two
key guys,
vital pieces
to the offense. I mean, they
kind of are the offensive Renfro.
Renfro had a crazy year.
Yo, he's a beast.
Yeah, he had a crazy
He's like an Edelman.
Right, I was going to say that. That's what reminds me of Edelman and Welker.
Have you ever seen him though? I was watching that Hard Knocks last year. He looks like he should be doing your taxes though. But he go out there and get you some TDs though.
103 catches, 1,038 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns.
That's a great season. That's a great season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. The Bucs start their championship defense against the Philadelphia Eagles, who I'm not even sure how they got into playoffs. I didn't even know they were in the playoff run until I saw they made the playoffs.
They're playing well.
I was like, good for the Eagles, good for them, good for Jalen Hurts, because they're probably going to try to find a way to not pay him or find somebody else. But for the Bucs, you coming off, you finish the season with winning a couple games in a row, completely get through that.
Antonio Brown.
Get through that stuff that happened during the week, and it seemed like now their skill guys are a little more healthier than they were going into the postseason. So this Bucs team, you got Brady. You got Brady.
I understand, but I still think they're in trouble. I mean, Godwin's out. Who's a key?
Nah, Godwin's in.
He's in?
They got a couple other wide receivers that are out, though.
Godwin,
hold on. So he's injured.
I don't think he's in, T.
I don't think he was done for the season, though. I know he was hurt, but I don't think it was a season-ending.
Nah, I think he's playing.
Fournette's questionable.
He's the only one. He's the only starting receiver that they still have.
Evans.
I thought Godwin was too.
Evans came back.
Evans
came back the week before. Mm-hmm. So here are the guys I know. So here are the injured guys: Leonard Fournette, Giovanni Bernard, Levante David, Ronald Jones, and they're all slated to come back and to play.
So they're questionable.
And then on defense, Shaq Barrett's slated to come back.
Okay.
So they got the guys coming back.
It's just the wide receivers is the problem.
Yeah.
Just so they only got two of their starting wide receivers, so they're gonna have a couple guys off the bench.
I think the tight ends got to step up because they got some really good tight ends.
Yeah. But this is kind of like Brady at his best with these type of receivers like Tyler Johnson, Brashad Perryman. So he'll be able to make it work with them. It's just gonna see the Eagles defense have been playing well down the stretch of the season. Granted, they sat out their starters against the Cowboys on Saturday, but I think that was good for them. So going into this game, it'll probably be competitive, and then the Bucs probably pull away late.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucs lose. I won't be.
I kind of will be. They got Hurts doing too much. They don't open their offense enough. You know what I'm saying? They don't have much of a running game, and if they do run it, it hurts. So it's like.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
And he's not good enough like Lamar Jackson to do all that yet. He's still young. He's still learning the game.
I like Miles.
Yeah, they got some guys. Devontae Smith and stuff. Yeah, but it's gonna be an interesting game. But I think it might be a little close for a little bit, and then the Bucs will just probably show their their experience and pull away from that. But we'll see what happens. All right, the Rams and the Cardinals. This one, Kyler Murray making his first playoff appearance. They're going against the high-powered Rams. I think they split the season series 1-1. This is their third matchup of the year. A divisional foes. There's no reason why this game shouldn't be close because they've played really close games.
Reminds me of the Patriots and the Bills matchup. That's what it reminds me of in the wild card weekend. Stafford, great year, but I think he's Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
And it's playoff time, so you know what happens then.
Well, we don't really know because it's
right,
playoffs.
Exactly.
So how we gonna know?
Oh, this is
the second one.
Oh my bad, the second one. Like I forgot about.
Yeah.
You remember what happened the first one?
My man, how long ago was that?
Do you remember what happened the first one?
How long ago was that? That is my point.
Bye.
That is my point.
But they did get screwed. I remember they got screwed that one though. They played against the Cowboys. They got screwed on that one. Then they called offensive pass interference on Calvin Johnson, and it wasn't a pass interference.
He's 0-1 in his playoff career, and he has a plus 10-year career in the NFL.
I'll tell you this. He has a lot to prove because this is what they brought you in, for you to come up, to play big in the playoffs, because they didn't believe in Jared Goff. So you come here to make the throws that Jared Goff didn't want to make. So, yeah, there's a lot on his shoulders for this one. But I think in my mind saying they should be able to pull this off because the Cardinals, they kind of been up and down the stretch.
First you gotta get out there. They gotta see if he's gonna play or not because he's questionable. Stafford.
It's hand, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he'll play, but we gotta see how well he's gonna play. But
is it throwing hand or?
I'm not sure which hand. I just said it was questionable, but like they're rolling. And Cardinals is crawling into the playoffs.
And they don't have Nuke.
Who?
Yeah,
Cardinals.
So hopefully, Rams could jump on them and just stay with this momentum they got. Just
yeah,
because.
if they had Hopkins, it'd be a lot more interesting. But they don't. They're getting J.J. Watt back and stuff. But yeah, it's the Rams. Like that game against the 49ers. Like for me, they just take their foot off the gas too many times. So that's my only thing with them. Like they'll relax a little bit and let a team get back in the game. So that's my only worry about them. But
I'll just say we got to see what they do this wild card game, just because we've never seen this Rams team in the playoffs yet.
Right.
So it's like,
I get you. And I like the Rams. Which running game you like better? Because I think that's going to play a major role in this game.
I don't like both of them, but the Rams are getting Cam Akers back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I like Akers, but I haven't seen him recently, and I was gonna say Murray. Murray's kind of like a dual threat, you know what I mean? So, but you got Akers in this.
He was scheduled not to even play at all because of the Achilles. Because he hurt his Achilles in like June or something.
Yeah.
But then now he's back.
He's back.
So,
So now they got like a 3-headed monster over there.
Yeah.
And I think the Rams are gonna come with some revenge, just because the way Arizona handled them.
Oh yeah,
they dominated them. Even plus 10 and in turnovers. Like, you know what I mean? Like they dominated completely. So
it's those divisional games that it's gonna be a slobber knocker. That's
I ain't
the
heard
word,
that
right?
in a while. Yeah, slopping up. You're right. You're right. Trust me. I would have corrected you immediately if you were.
All right.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, no, it is.
All right, last game, Cowboys and 49ers. This one, historical purposes, is probably going to be the most watched game just because the historical purposes.
But a lot of people don't know about that rivalry.
Yeah, Cowboys, 49ers, Cowboys, 70s, 80s, 90s, part of the 90s.
T.O. the Star Stomp.
T.O. the Star. Michael Irvin. Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin still hasn't let go of Deion Sanders' pass interference that they didn't call back in that when the 49ers won the Super Bowl in like 94 and stuff. And the 49ers, granted, we question their quarterback a lot, but we don't question that defense. That defense, they got Maga Boza who out there hitting people and
tough.
Yeah, and the Cowboys, they kind of. We look at them, we're kind of like,
never know what's going to show. Because even this past weekend, we were kind of iffy, and they went out there and put the smackdown on them. So it's like,
they didn't have the starters, right? It was
regardless, bro. You play who gets put out there. You know what I mean? End of the day.
But Dallas's defenses, they've been tough all year.
Yeah, they have.
And they have, to me, they have the best player on defense in the league. Micah Parsons in the league.
Yeah.
And then they have probably top 3 defensive back in the league with Trayvon Diggs.
The thing about Diggs with him, As great as he is,
Gambles a lot.
people be throwing at him because they know they could get him. They could get him.
Gambles a lot.
Yeah, he's not like Prime or Darrell Reeves or anybody like that.
He's young. He's still young.
Yeah, he's young, but he gambles too much. But yeah, this is gonna be the game that people watch. I just like 49ers. Debo Samuels, man, that dude, he's been on a tear. Despite running and catching the ball, so it's gonna be
one of my favorite players in the league. Debo Samuels.
Is Mitchell gonna play?
Samuel.
The running back.
Yeah.
He probably won't play, but I think they're gonna do running back by association, like they've been doing the past couple of weeks.
I was actually shocked that Garoppolo played.
I was gonna ask you that too.
Oh, yeah.
With a tear in his thumb tendon.
Because he got that quarterback.
Yeah, he kind of got no choice.
Yeah,
when you got somebody on your heels, you got to go out there and do something.
He back there waiting for him, so he's kind of like, I got to play.
That's
You know,
true.
I shouldn't be playing. I got to play.
True.
So, yeah.
He looked decent, too. He wasn't too bad.
I think this game is going to be like the quarter. We're going to see a lot with the quarterbacks. Going to be like, all right, are y'all the one? Because as great as Dak has been the early part of the season, you know, we've still seen him not play as well as he should be playing, as well as they're paying him to play. And Jimmy, he's been like up and down.
And this is the game where nobody knows what. Because they haven't seen each other all season.
Yeah.
So this is the game where people are going to be watching it like, all right, this is going to be, because you kind of know what to expect with the other games. With this game, you have no clue.
And it seems like the 49ers, like their roster, they've been guys in and out of that roster the whole season. And now, like down the stretch, everybody's been in the lineup. Everybody's been back. So, and the Cowboys kind of the same thing too. They've had guys in and out of the lineup. But then when they got them all back, they still were a little inconsistent against the good teams, against the playoff teams. So
I would still say advantage Dallas.
Because they're home?
AT&T, yep. AT&T Stadium. That's why exactly why I was going to say that.
All right, yeah.
Keep rolling.
Yeah.
4-1, even though 49ers 4-1, but the Cowboys 4-1 a little different.
Different, right? Different 4-1. Yeah, you ain't lying, brother.
But it's the Cowboys. That's all I'll say. It's the Cowboys. You never know with them. It's like they always have like the craziest things happen in their games. So yeah, that one is up for the airs. All right, before we go to Craig and No Huddle, quickly talk about some of these NFL coaches being fired. We knew most of them were gonna get fired, but the one that had everybody,
Miami,
Flores, me too.
Yes.
I saw that.
That's crazy.
It seemed like they was picking on some color.
Exactly. I'm glad you touched on that.
Because my thing is, they've been making steps in the right direction. They might not have been what you want them to be, but my thing is, Miami usually always sucks. The last time they were considered good, they were considered they were put in the Super Bowl. I was in college. They finished last in the NFL, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, they were 1-7 and ended up being 9-8.
Yeah, they won 7 in a row.
And then you fire the coach?
But man, I'll be honest, that was racist. I don't care what nobody says.
And
fired
also,
the coach?
What coach is beating Bill Belichick twice? You beat Belichick twice. That should guarantee you another year.
And you know,
And he's in his league.
And think about the people that hire these coaches from Miami. You've been hiring coach after year after year after year. Why don't you guys demote yourselves in the front office? Because at some point GMs and owners got to be like demoted or fired or traded if they don't do something in a certain amount of time.
There was a power struggle too.
Between the GM and
it was either the GM goes or the coach goes.
Yep.
And we're just like, so one of the biggest things people are talking about is how they drafted Tua instead of Justin Herbert. But that's the GM. That's the GM's fault.
Yeah.
The GM makes that final decision. So y'all still upset, y'all still not over that, but that's the GM's fault.
Bright spot though, I think he's going to end up staying in Florida.
Jacksonville?
Yes.
I don't want to wish that on him.
Honestly, though, but he might be one of the people to turn around because he has some players, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
You got some players.
Any coach they bring, I won't say that, but yeah, he's a whole lot better, a big upgrade from the last coach they had because he understands players. He understands players.
He cares about his players.
Yeah.
He actually travels with them. He doesn't stay back. He does stuff that the coach is supposed to do. He don't say, y'all grown ass men, I'm gonna stay over here. Nah, bro, you do what you're supposed to do.
He ain't at the club.
No different than Pop Warner, high school, college, NFL. There's certain procedures you got to go about, but they got to change. They got to do something in these contracts with these GMs and owners that if you don't do something past the next 5-10 years, you get demoted. Yeah. Something happens. You get traded somewhere. Something.
Like, they definitely should. Yeah, that was and it's not like he had a losing record. record past 2 seasons.
Bro,
he had a over 500 winning record.
Baby steps.
Like, right?
Even Marino, his whole career, they weren't even good like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's the greatest Dolphin of all time.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, I swear some of these higher ups, they think they could just turn it around like that. Like these guys have shown, like the team has shown progress. With the quarterback in his second year, you got another rookie receiver who was pretty good. I shouldn't say pretty good, who was really
Waddle.
good. Yeah, Waddle, who was really
Definitely
good. Your defense was playing great. It's like they've shown all the progress that when you're evaluating the team, you're like, oh, the coach is doing a great job. We just need some pieces here and there.
Right.
Like
That's what
like let him coach it out. Like he's shown
It was
he's
a
not.
shock when
He's
I saw
shown he's
that. I
not
was shocked.
Josh McDaniels or Matt Patricia like those other.
and honestly, why is there a power struggle between the GM and the coach? The GM puts the players on the roster. The
And
coach
coach
makes
coaches
sure he
them.
gets the best out of them. Where's the struggle at? Because the GM probably wants Dawson to be the coach. He's not. You don't have the credentials to be the coach. Go sit in that office and be the GM.
Right. That's why they hire you. They hire you to coach.
Facts.
Button your top button, put your tie on, and do your job. Like Flores had a hat, you know what I mean? Them sneakers on the field.
Not everybody can be Bill Belichick. Man.
Not everybody can, and sometimes you just gotta learn to know your role. And what the Rock say, know your role. Shut your mouth.
And he's a Belichick prodigy. How do you let that guy go?
But that's actually good too. All the other ones have been like,
Because they're Dolphins. They're the Dolphins. No different than Ace Ventura. Ray Finkel.
He said Ray Finkel.
I get the name right?
So I believe so. I'm gonna watch that later.
we gonna go to Craig. Craig's gonna give his predictions for the wild card weekend games.
Mine like
I'll come back top national title game. This dude here, man.
Yeah, your team, man.
Library, man.
Ray Finkel.
What up, everybody, and welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. It's your boy Craig, here to give you my wild card breakdown this week. Yes, I am in bed, and because I forgot to film it, so here I am. Before it's time to say goodnight, let me give you the wild card breakdown. Let's start with the NFC. You have the Cowboys going up against the 49ers. So basically, we're talking about defense versus offense. And even though defense wins championships, I believe the offense of the Dallas Cowboys will outlast the defense of the 49ers. Arizona playing the Rams. This might be one of the best games of the playoffs. But I do believe that the talent on the Rams with the defense will outlast Arizona. Unfortunately, I don't believe Kyler Murray is going to make it out of the first round. So Rams over Arizona. And then finally, you got Tampa Bay over Philly. And if this isn't the most obvious choice, Tom Brady and Tampa Bay are going to run it down on Philly. Philly just happened to, trip, fall, and make its way into the playoffs. Jalen Hurts is really good, but Tom Brady is the GOAT. Now on to the AFC. Kansas City versus the Steelers. Once again, defense versus offense. And I gotta go offense again. Patrick Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Got an incredible team behind him. A defense that has been making some serious adjustments. And an offense that, is virtually unstoppable. So I like them very much. And I think that Kansas City is going to make it into the next round. Goodbye, Steelers. Then you have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Raiders. Two quality quarterbacks facing off, both with a lackluster defense. But Cincinnati does have a good run defense. Not that Oakland runs the ball that much. I believe that Cincinnati just has the better offensive weapons. And I believe that they take it and move on to the next round. Finally, Patriots-Bills in a rubber match. Patriots win the first game on the ground. Bills win the second game, kind of just, kicking our butts on both sides of the ball. And now we have the final matchup to decide who's going to move on to the semifinals. And I can never go against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. We're going to make the adjustments. We're going to prepare situational football, and the Patriots will move on into the next round. And even though I like that boy Josh Allen, he's nice, and I think he's got all the skills to potentially win a Super Bowl one year. But if he's got to go through the Patriots, it's a no-go for him. It's a no-go. So that's what I got. I got the Rams. I got the Cowboys. And I got Tampa Bay. And then I got New England, Cincinnati, and Kansas City. Prediction: Cincinnati facing Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. That's what I'm thinking this year. So we'll see what happens. Until next week, back to After the Whistle.
All right, thank you, Craig, for that. All right, we're gonna talk a little bit national title game. The Georgia, the state of Georgia, have been prospering the past. They had the Atlanta Braves win it. Now the state, I swear Georgia football is like the football program or the football team
over the Falcons. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Because they had one thing I like about these games, the national title games. You see all the alumni and stuff like that on the sidelines and stuff. That's my favorite part of the college games in general, when the alumni come back on the sideline to support the team. But yeah, this game, Georgia's been the best team all season, and they just showed it. And it didn't help Alabama. They were down. Their two best receivers.
Facts. They had the best defense in the league, in the whole college football. So that's a fact, and that's the recipe for a championship and on that level.
Defense win championship.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And Bama didn't look like Bama.
No.
And then, missing guys, then more guys getting hurt.
Yeah.
Did any guys opt out?
No. Nah, it was just Bryce Young he was trying out there.
Yeah,
Bryce Young was trying, but it was only so much he could. Them dudes are fast.
Yeah.
Like there was that play on the goal line, Alabama. Yeah, Bryce Young hit the corner, and normally that's an easy walk-in touchdown. The safety just legit chased him down and caught him.
Baby. Lewis C.
Shout out to
Lewis.
Yeah, for every local kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, so I was like, I was watching that Georgia. I'm like, yo, these dudes are fast. And then all the analysts were saying they got 4 guys in D-line that's gonna be playing Sundays. They got 3 linebackers that's gonna be playing Sundays, and they got a few DBs that will be playing, or all of them that will be playing on Sundays. So it's like, and I think I read somewhere that Georgia had like 8 or 9 5-stars on their roster.
I think the only guy not playing on Sundays is their quarterback.
Yeah. No, you're right.
He a good player though, but that's one thing we know about these national championship teams. If the QB's not a Heisman candidate,
right,
you don't hear about him after this.
At all. But he's gonna get a job.
He might be in the league for a couple of years.
He'll get a job.
Get a shot at it.
I hope he does. I hope he does.
He's a national champion.
No, that don't matter.
He'll get a job.
He'll get a spot on the roster.
He's not gonna play.
Number homeboy from Miami, Dorsey.
Yeah.
He was in the league for a while, but
he got a spot.
The other guy from US, what was it, USC? What was his name? The lefty? No. The lefty
Matt
guy.
Lynett.
Oh yeah.
There's always a couple. There's always a couple, man.
Yeah, and then Jordan, if they didn't lose that one game, these dudes, they'd probably be talking about this to one of the best college teams ever if they didn't lose that, because the way they dominated everybody.
But I feel like if they didn't lose that game in the season,
they probably wouldn't have won this
championship.
Right, I agree with you on that.
Because the way they got embarrassed, and then they talk about these guys are all NFL guys, you knew like
they was
gonna have a different focus focus, different intensity because they are pros.
And if you notice when they beat, who was it? Who they beat in the game? Michigan?
That wasn't a whoop. I mean, it wasn't a beat. It was a massacre.
But did you see the coach after though? He didn't even want to get the Gatorade bucket on him. He told him, we got a job to do.
He's been through this before.
Right, we got a job to do.
He's been through this before.
That's when I knew. I said, oh, yeah, they come.
Here's the craziest thing. These two teams might be right back in there playing against each other again next year because I think they're nationally ranked.
1 and 2 again?
No, like their recruiting class are like in the top 5, both of them. So it's just and a lot of Alabama guys were young too. So.
I mean, it really is like the SEC Invitational.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Clemson got in there. Got 2 out of there. Ohio State got 1 out of there.
Starting to change though.
But even
when these guys are going with Dion right now.
But even when, but I think even when they was winning those, there was like what 2 or 3 SEC teams in there still.
Yep.
Like,
So congratulations to Georgia. I know that state needed it. They needed that one.
Let's go, Dogs.
I have a quick question though. Is Dion able to get in there though, based on where he's coaching, or does he have to like move up to a Power 5?
I think because they're I don't think he could. I don't think so.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, I don't think.
The FBS, the regular like the.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
But I mean,
so they're like a level below.
Okay. So our school, like all the black schools, they're ranked like that.
No.
They're not
The
in
HBCUs?
No, like they're ranked, like they have like the
yes.
FBS rankings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're like part of the FBS and stuff like that. So
Well, you just throw them all in one pool.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
because I'm telling you, that's going to come
changing.
up.
Oh,
Because those guys are going to be undefeated.
Yeah, it should.
With top-ranked guys in the country.
They just got a receiver too.
That transferred, right?
No, they just got a top receiver.
And they got a transfer from Florida State.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle.
It's slowly going to turn, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
Unfortunately.
I'm just waiting for them. We see a big breaking news: NCAA investigating Jackson State, just because.
You know. Yeah, we already know.
Oh, I'm just waiting. When that happens, we just gonna be here like, see, we knew this was gonna happen. They're trying to find something. They're trying to find something. All right, lastly, NBA news. Klay Thompson made his return on Sunday against the Cavs. They were playing him in spurts, caught a body. And
that was vicious.
He looked like a regular Klay, taking all the shots.
That was vicious.
But I think Klay Thompson is like one of those guys in the league that everybody, like every player, just genuinely likes. He's like one of those guys that people just genuinely like. He's cool. With the Jackie Moon headband.
I don't understand why people are so surprised. He's like 6'7", 6'8". Like he's dunked on people before. Like,
it's just so rare that he does it.
I know,
but coming off an injury like that.
But what do you think he's probably been working on? He's probably been working on
those sprints.
Getting to the bucket because he's a Hall of Fame type shooter. So he knows he's gonna knock jumpers down.
Right.
So he probably added to his game.
If it wasn't for his teammate, we'd be talking about him as
I think he's more warrior than Steph Curry, believe it or not. I really do.
What do you mean?
Like I think he embodies the Warriors more than Steph Curry.
I mean, he's been kind of like foaming at the mouth for 2 years.
Yeah.
So he kind of developed a warrior in him.
Yeah. When you was like 390 something days or something like that, 2 years since you actually competed, that's tough.
And especially when he's probably running every day, shooting, doing mad stuff. Like I feel great now realizing, bro, you just have to make sure that you're healthy.
Right.
You can't have any because he came back so soon and injured something else. So it's like, you got to make sure you're healthy. Take an extra year off. And make
I like how they did it though. I like how they did it and waited to get him in because I know he was probably ready to go probably like a month ago or so. But I like how they just waited and waited to get him back in there. It'll be better because as the season goes on, you'll see. Usually when you come off an injury and then the season goes on, you get better and better later on.
And I think they also looked at how they handled the pandemic season and how people were just falling apart. So they're like, we can't have Klay fall apart again.
Right.
So had to take things slow.
And it also helped that they were like they have like one of the best records in the league, so they're like, we can hold you off.
Yeah, a little while, right? And it was playing so well without him, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go to the +1. Talk to NBA writer, Celtics writer, Josue Pavon. I had to vent to him about the Celtics. I'm still not over that Knicks loss.
Oh, me either. They was up 25.
It's not even that. You let Evan Fournier give you 41 points. That's my biggest issue.
I was just shocked they came back.
He's a Celtic killer, though. Was he averaging like 35?
Yo.
That's the only time he plays well.
See, I like how you said Celtic killer. I told you. Oh, we're still filming?
Yeah.
Oh, when I told me he was going scoreless in them games. He was a mole.
Check this plus one out.
When he was on the Celtics?
Yeah. Look at him.
T, you're crazy. T, you're crazy.
How you gonna score in NBA games? And you a shooter.
Cold.
You get paid to shoot the ball.
Check this plus one out, and we're going to come back. We got high school sports update and stuff. Man. To another edition of the Plus One segment, and today we got friend of the show, NBA/Boston Celtics writer Josue Pavon is here with us, and he's gonna be my therapist for the next 10 to 12 minutes because woo, the Celtics, man, they're not good for the mental health.
They're definitely frustrating for all the fans out there, man. The ones that are still watching them, I guess.
I mean. Yeah, you have to be at the games, and I'm sure that's even more frustrating. But yeah, the Knicks game, that's the game. That game, I don't even know where to start with that game. You went from being up 25, then in the fourth quarter, it was just a horrendous fourth quarter. I don't even know how to describe that fourth quarter.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't the 25 to blow a 25-point lead was definitely as bad as it gets for the Celtics team, and that was the mark where you want to see how the team responds from that, and that's sort of what Ime has been preaching, and now to see guys like Jalen and Jaylen Brown, finding this stride right now, and someone like Jason Tatum enforcing it, I think that's big for these guys, Obviously, you want to keep them in tune. They're your two all-stars, and you want to see them see this through, right? And see if they can come out of this and get to a space where you feel better about the team going into the playoffs. If they can make the playoffs, right? I mean, they're at a tough spot right now.
Yeah, what are they, like the ninth seed right now or something like that? 9th or 10th seed right now?
Yeah, they're in play-in tournament territory, which is where they were last season. And last season, the shortcomings and COVID and injuries and all that was sort of to be expected, right? You wanted to see Tatum and Brown do what they're doing now all season long, but Jalen went down, and that sort of complicated things, along with Kemba Walker not being available. But all that's in the past now, right? You got Tatum and Brown leading the way, and you want to see them, develop, and of course this team develop around them. But we've yet to see, that the true potential of this team for sure.
It's been a whole big regression, and from the podcast showing that we went to, that you were at, I was at, I said one of my main concerns with this team is shooting. There were some side eyes at me when I said that, but we look at the stats, they're bottom of the league in three-point shooting. They're shooting like under 35% from that. And when you got guys like Tatum creating for other guys, the Knicks game, Tatum got those guys a lot of great looks, and they weren't knocking them down. I think the two reliable shooters are Grant Williams and Josh Richardson.
Yeah, that's spot on. And those are the two players who I thought, stepped up in a big way, especially against the Indiana Pacers. Now, you have to also give credit to Ime Udoka. Just when Celtics fans were starting to get critical, just when critics were starting to say, well, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't have given this guy so much praise going into his first year as an NBA head coach. But he made the proper adjustments, I thought, against the Indiana Pacers. He recognized that someone like Dennis Schroeder wasn't giving the guys what they needed offensively. Marcus Smart was out for the game with the left knee contusion, so he was shorthanded on that end. And he turned to guys that he saw as reliable. Grant Williams was able to hit a corner three down the stretch. That was really important. Josh Richardson did the same. He was making defensive stops on the other end. It's difficult for someone like Richardson because it seems like whenever he finds one of these strides, there's either an injury or COVID protocols that's, it's a setback for him. But right now he's finding that stride again. And Ime is taking advantage of it right now. The Celtics team, they can still use plenty of shooting. I think that's something that going into the season, as you pointed out, was a glaring weakness, and it's gotten worse. So that's something that they're going to have to address or try their best to address come the trade deadline.
Well, at this point in the season, if you don't make a move to get some shooters to help Brown and Tatum, we're just going to end up with another roller coaster ride the second half of the season. And another thing is the inconsistency in play. It's in one game they look great, then the next 3 games, they just look like they're not interested in playing at all. So I don't know. And the coach has been saying their effort. He's been critical of their effort and how they come out to play for the past couple of weeks. And that's just, that's something you can't coach is effort. So I don't know why they can't come out with a sense of urgency every game. But it's just like we'll see it for 1 or 2 games, and then they'll go through a stride where it's 4 or 5 games that it's just not there.
Right, and I think for Ime, to get everyone to sort of take accountability was always the start of his career, right? I mean, his coaching career. I mean, going into this season, people were like, "Look, this team needs to be more accountable." Guys last season, Brad Stevens wasn't exactly the coach to call his players out. He was the type of coach to take on the responsibility, and that's something that we see a clear difference in Ime from the very beginning. And you look at the way the approach from his 2 All-Stars in Tatum and Brown, and I think that's a sign of what he's saying is actually resonating with these guys, But the thing is that effort, like you said, it can't be coached, And I think that has a lot to do with why he's starting to trim his rotation. He still has to try to figure things out. I'm not convinced that this is going to be the set in stone rotation come playoff time, but I think that he's sort of showing that tough love in the sense of saying, like, look, if you guys aren't going to put out that effort, then you're going to see the bench, and even if you're a veteran like Dennis Schroeder, which is what we saw against the Pacers, or if you're a young guy like, Aaron Nesmith or Romeo Langford, 2 guys who have had opportunities at certain stretches throughout the course of the regular season, especially early on, and they were unable to answer the call. Nesmith got sent up to Maine, and he performed well. He responded, so now he comes back with the Celtics, and hopefully he can rejoin and contribute at a higher level.
Yeah, because they definitely need his contribution. He's definitely showed signs of making plays and making shots. It's just the consistency there. But once again, man, I'm not too sure of where this team is going to go because I've seen too much to expect them to hit the corner, to turn the corner, I should say. It's too unpredictable for me. They're just too unpredictable. I know what I'm going to get. So even sometimes with the 2 All-Stars, I don't know what I'm going to get from them. I don't know what the team is going to get from them because it's one of those years.
They look like who they are, right? A 500 team. That's definitely what they look like. But, for the Celtics fans, the hopeful ones that are, dreaming of seeing them back in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think that's something that could happen, but I'm not quite sure if it happens this season, Instead, we see Tatum and Brown take a significant step. Maybe that's what, at the end of the day, at the end of this season will be the big takeaway, moving forward. And I know, again, Celtics fans don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it next year. They've already been counting their blessings in the sense of like this team has still been relevant despite, seeing guys like Kyrie Irving leave and Gordon Hayward leave and Al Horford leave and come back and them trying to figure out this bridge year, so to speak, And I think that's something that, we saw going into it. Realistically, we saw that this could be that year, that bridge year where they figure out which pieces are going to be part of the future and which pieces are they going to part ways with. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the trade deadline. I do believe they will do some sort of move to address this roster. It's just the size of the move is what's on everybody's mind. Now, for the whole, splitting the Jays section of the Celtics fans, I don't think it'll be that drastic. But let's see if the Celtics are if they part ways with one of their one of their core guys, someone like Marcus Smart. I think that'll be interesting to see what happens there because then who gets to start in point guard position, right? Or even trading someone like Al Horford. What kind of pieces does that bring back? So it'll be interesting.
That's why I was more upset with their offseason, lack their movement in the offseason because there were some guys that they could have made an attempt to sign that could help this roster. They could have made a move. I mean, he's hurt now, but they could have tried to make a move to get Ricky Rubio. They could have tried to make a move to get a couple shooters that were out there available, and there was no movement from them. And now we're just seeing the fruits of that labor of not making no type of adjustments because it was pretty much they returned the same team from last year.
Yeah, right. But you also saw guys like Horford and Schroeder, right? You saw some of that veteran, leadership or, guys that were going to, hold themselves accountable and see how the rest of their teammates would follow. And I think that was significant for this group. Whether those two are going to be around in 2 or 3 years, I mean, who knows? But again, you want those type of voices and that sort of production. Now, Schroeder, I thought having that offensive weapon off the bench was something that they didn't have last year. Having a big man that could swing the ball and also contribute on the scoring end and be an anchor defensively, someone like Al Horford, I think that was something that this team missed last year. Guys like Robert Williams and Grant Williams, those are, that's the example that they want to follow. And Robert wasn't shy in mentioning that his rookie season, that, how instrumental someone like Al Horford is or was back then. So, excuse me. So that's going to be, something to keep a close eye on, to see what happens with those guys. But, yeah, you're right, Mukala. I mean, the shooting is obviously, something that they have to address. I just think right now, when you were talking about a starting point guard, I just think finding someone to bring in here is really difficult to pull off, even if you were to part ways with someone like Marcus Smart. So I'm not quite sure if that's in the cards for them this season, but I could be wrong. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. However, I would like them to see addressing the offense. Again, maybe one of those lower tier trades. You still have the TPE to use from the Fournier deal. You also have the future draft picks, guys like, the youngsters like Romeo, Aaron Nesmith. I mean, you're going to have to part with one of these guys, and to see what you get in return will be interesting. Maybe you're able to get off the bench scorer that can help you in the playoffs. Maybe you get a 3-and-D guy who can contribute on both ends and crack the rotation immediately. I mean, either way, in terms of how far this team goes, I think that's most important. Bringing in a weapon that's not only a rotation guy, but that can help those needs, whether it's outside shooting or to strengthen the defense.
Definitely, man. You just can't let Evan Fournier give you 41 points. That's just embarrassing. That's just.
Yeah, but that's an emotional performance, right? Mukala? That's. I'm not gonna say that's to be expected, but at the same time, I'm not trying to hear you should have kept that guy or what could have been. No, I don't want to hear any of that. But yeah, I mean, it's still disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Definitely. Before we get out of here, please let them know where to read your stuff, plug in your social medias, all that great stuff.
Oh man, appreciate that. At Joe_Sway on Twitter. Same thing on Instagram as well. That's Joe_Sway, SWAY. For the pronunciation of my name, Josue, which doesn't help, by the way, Mukala. You know what? If anything, it doesn't even do the opposite. People think my name is Joe. My last name is Sway. So that's a whole nother conversation. But anyways, yeah, on social media, at Joe_Sway.
Hey, man, that's my guy, Josue Pavon. Y'all will be seeing more of him on this program as this season goes on and as this Celtics season goes on. But you guys been watching.
Definitely. I hope I have good news for you, man. I hope I have better news for you. But hey, they got back-to-back wins here, so that's a start.
That's a positive, but they might lose 5 in a row. We don't know. You guys been watching the Plus One segment. Have a great day.
The Celtics just don't know how to D them up.
We are back. Thank you, Josue, for that. Celtics, man. I'm actually going to be at a game Saturday. They're playing the Bulls. One of the best teams.
They're going to get cooked.
I'm already looking towards next season with them.
Who you telling?
Because it's kind of like what I talked about growing up. Like, we knew they were going to be competitive, but we knew they wasn't winning no championship. This is how I'm feeling again.
They played a good game against the Celtics, though. I mean, the Pacers, excuse me.
Bro, I felt great about the Celtics one year, and that's when the big three got here. Every game I was like, we don't win the championship this year. We have a good chance to win the championship. I never felt that way ever since.
Yeah. Also,
True.
They've disappointed me too many times. All those Eastern Conference losses, especially. Like, there's 2 Celtic seasons I'll never forgive them for. 2019, when they could have snuck a championship in if they all just got along, because the Raptors snuck a championship in and we ain't heard nothing from them since.
Right.
And then 2018, when they should have beat the Cavs, and I don't even know what happened in there. I swear that was like some old NBA, like, we got to let LeBron get in there one more time and stuff. I swear, that's what it seemed. It wasn't, but that's what it seemed like to me. You up by like 5-6 points under 3 minutes left in the game, and then.
What do you guys think about Adime? The coach.
Ime?
Oh.
He can't do no wrong to me because he married to Nia Long, so.
That's Nia Long.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on my bad side. Udoka, man, I don't rock with that. Nah, honestly, I just think he's learning. He's learning. You know what I mean? He's figuring out his players.
I think he's doing a good job because
he calls them out at least.
Yeah, he does that at least. I mean, because he plays, we can do that. I don't think what's his name can do that. Stevens, they would have gave him a wedgie.
Let's go. First post-game interview with Trav Berry Rogers. The Lady Bulldogs beat Everett yesterday. This dude been making me lose my focus, man. Go to the post-game interview. All right, Trav, you guys back on the court after 20 days off. Seemed like there was no rust for your team. What got them going?
I mean, we stick to, our principles and the things we focus on every day at practice is just going hard. Focusing on our defensive principles, making sure we're focusing on the ball, being in the gap and the help. We did have a little rush. The final makes it look like we were good, but, the way that we want to play and the level that we want to get to, we have to shake it off, but it's just a blessing to be back in here after 20 days, man.
Yeah, and the girls really had the ball movement, and they were knocking down a lot of open shots.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way we want to play. We want to play fast tempo, move the rock, find the open person. If we can get a layup, get a layup. If we can get an open shot, get an open shot. I mean, we trust our teammates and our players to knock those shots down. I mean, we work hard every day at practice. We do multiple drills. We get a lot of reps up. So it was really good to see that ball movement.
All right, what do you like it so far from your team this early on in the season?
I like that we're just becoming a team. I mean, everybody is supporting each other. Every night it's a different person that's shining. And at the end of the day, it's us winning collectively and everyone being happy for that person and us just working hard defensively. We really covering up for each other, really forcing the tempo, applying pressure. If somebody gets beat, that next teammate is there to help out. So I really just love how we're coming together, kind of taking in the new culture that we're building here and the new intensity, and we're going to keep going.
Right, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, and we are back. All right, second interview, Rosie Chang. Rosie had a game-high 22 points, knocking down them shots.
Okay, Rose.
Yeah.
That's the dog right there.
She's all scared that I was going to ask her hard questions. I'm like, I don't know, this is easy questions. like you guys just play basketball. What hard questions are you going to ask you after basketball game? You're like, check this out with Rosie.
Man,
right? I mean, all right, Rosie, you guys just 20 days off. You guys come back, look like it wasn't even, you guys haven't been on the court. What got you guys clicking?
Honestly, we came back practicing, I think on Monday, and we were going we were on go. We were running, doing what we had to do to win this game, and we knew they were gonna come they were gonna come to play. They weren't gonna give it easy to us. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a good start to the season for you guys. You guys started off really well until that little break you guys had. What's been going well for you guys?
Honestly, I feel like the whole Christmas tournament, since they had us not playing in our own gym, I felt like that's what pushed us to go harder because it just I don't know, that didn't go good for us.
All right, for you personally, what got you going in here? You were knocking down shots, you were getting in the bucket, you were getting in the paint, you were getting your teammates involved. What got you going?
Like I said, the whole COVID situation, that made me I had to pick it up. Those 2 weeks that I had off, I didn't really like that, so I knew it was time to turn up.
All right, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
And we are back. Thank you, Rosie, for that. English plays Classical tomorrow. Big rivalry game.
Where?
The boys are at Lynn Classical, and the girls' game is at Lynn English.
What time?
I don't know, because they be switching these times up. So when I find out the time, I'll let you know. But I think it's 7.
Okay.
I probably can't make it. I got workouts in the game.
I'll be at one of those games.
Okay.
Also tonight, St. Mary's, Bishop Fenwick. This is going to be a big one. They're both undefeated in league play, so this is going to be for top spot in league. No, this is at St. Mary's. 6:30 at St. Mary's. So I'll be there.
Michael.
And all right, 2021 high school football highlights. Check these out, and then we're gonna do top 10 plays and give our predictions, and then call it a day.
Y'all ready? Yes, coach. Right through. Let them all in. They won't smoke. Let them all coach. They won't smoke. Let them all coach. All them mamas cry. Ooh, now my baby. All them mamas cry. Ooh, now my baby. Let that boom. Let that boom. Let that boom.
You are. Don't gotta tell them, I already told them. Showing improving, feel like I'm chosen. Shining like gold, feel like I'm chosen. You are. You don't gotta tell them, I already told them, already showed them. I was so down, feel like I'm chosen. In and out schools, I feel like I'm frozen. All of my patience is all around racing. We slide, the ribbon gon' look like it's stolen. Live by the corner and puff marijuana. The cop roll around and go look like we hold. And we not beginners, the liquor blood in us. The we got me walking like him with us. Chemist, my shorty a gymnast. They both got a stretch to handle their business. We do it as Guinness. The pull back on sentence, they hit over line. Fall back on tennis, apartment with tenants. The whole carriage win it. We do it, they limit. Make sure we get it. So tap out of Fiji. My uncle like Didi, they did not me when they CDs. You threaten to leave me, then leave me. The studio need me. I pull up, they see me and make sure I'm greedy. I can't let them hold me. That level was phony. My blessings to Kiki. We rolling up GG in studio weekly. The youngins repeat me. I make sure I got them in real when they see me out. Something to see about. Preach what you preach about. Dead in the grass. I don't see you. We read it out. Something to read about. He how he and I know they believe me now. Preach. You don't gotta tell them. I already told them. Showing improving. Feel like I'm chosen. Shining like gold. Feel like I'm chosen. You don't gotta.
All right, and we are back. Those high school football highlights, Pedro got them programmed. I don't know what time they're gonna be showing, but they're gonna be showing. So if you watch the TV, if you watch, you'll see it. It's like an hour and some change. All the best plays from the high school football season.
Good job, Pedro.
Yeah, and all the music is from local artists. the music, the background music is all from local guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
And stuff. So, check that out. I put up a link too, so you could do that too as well. All right, top 10 plays, NBA top 10. Check this out. All right, and we are back. NFL Week 18, top 10 plays, and we're going to do our game picks for the playoffs, and then that's it.
I know.
All right, and we are back. All right, let's get our predictions, our game picks on for this wild card weekend. All right, Las Vegas at Cincinnati.
I'm gonna let you go, T, first.
Oh, I'm picking my Raiders, man. That's just what it goes. That's just what it is, man.
I'm going with the Bengals.
Man, like,
I got to rock with the silver and black just because.
All right, 2 against 1.
Yeah.
it's just because, man, the season they had.
The home team is gonna win.
We don't go against the Pats, so.
Yeah, we know. We know.
Pats. Philly, Tampa.
Brady.
Yeah, Tampa.
Brady, yeah. San Fran at Dallas. This the one right here.
It's a tough one, man, to be honest. But I have to go with Dallas at AT&T Stadium. They're home.
I'm going to go with Dallas. The QB's Garoppolo.
I'm going to go with the 49ers because I'm just going to go with the 49ers. Yeah, I'm going with San Fran. Pittsburgh at Kansas City, though.
Kansas City all day.
Y'all going Kansas City?
Kansas City by 30.
He said,
Probably more.
let's do the Charles Barkley. Guarantee. And the last game, this is a Monday night game.
Yeah, first
Cardinals,
ever.
Cardinals at Chargers, so that means they're going to have the Manning.
First
You mean
ever
Cardinals
wild
at,
card Monday.
Rams.
I mean, Chargers would have been nice to see him in the playoffs.
Where is it?
It's in Los Angeles.
I'm going with, you know what? I'm going with the Rams, man. I'm sick of y'all bashing Stafford like that. Hopefully, he do something.
I want to see Kyler Murray win, but I'm going with the Rams too because I like that. You told me Cam's back, Cam Akers. That's a huge difference, man. Three-headed monster.
Yeah, three ways, Rams. We going with that. All right, and that is it. That's a wrap. Thank you all once again. Happy belated birthday to his aunt Heather B. Happy birthday to you. Also, happy birthday to my aunt and my uncle. They share the same birthday.
That's dope.
On Saturday. So 4 years apart, but they share the same birthday.
That is dope.
And any other birthdays we forgot, whatever. Check us out. We'll be back next week. He'll be back for NBA playoffs when the NBA playoffs rolls around.
Damn, they gonna keep me away that long?
Yeah.
Nah. Wow.